I was changing our daughter's phone plan when I saw it. I miss how you taste from a number saved as Gym Trainer, sent on our anniversary. That was 6 months ago, the text that ended my marriage. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part came later when I discovered that the past 10 years of my life, every memory, every moment I thought was sacred, might have been built on a lie so massive I still can't wrap my head around it. Let me back up. It's our 10th anniversary, September 14th. I remember because I'd taken the day off work, first time in 3 years. My wife, Sarah, and I were sitting at Romano's, the Italian place where I proposed. Emma's at her grandma's for the weekend. We have the whole night, just us. Sarah's wearing the blue dress I bought her last Christmas. She looks beautiful. She's always beautiful. But tonight, there's something different. She's checking her phone. Again, third time since we ordered appetizers. Everything okay? I ask. She smiles. Yeah, just work stuff. Work stuff. On a Saturday at 7 p.m. I let it go. I'm good at letting things go. Been doing it for months, actually. The late nights at the gym. The new lingerie I never see her wear. The way she tilts her phone away when I walk into a room. All those little things you tell yourself don't mean anything, because if they did, your world would collapse, and you're not ready for that. So we eat. We talk about Emma's school year, about the kitchen renovation we've been planning, about everything except the distance between us that's been growing like a crack in a windshield, slow at first, then all at once. When we get home, there's a family photo on the mantle. Us three last summer at the beach. Emma's building a sandcastle. Sarah's laughing. I'm holding them both. Perfect family. Picture perfect. I look at that photo now, and I want to smash it, but I'm getting ahead of myself again. The next morning, Sunday, I'm at my desk paying bills. That's when I see the phone plan statement. We're on a family plan. 3 lines. Mine, Sarah's, Emma's. Emma got her first phone for her 8th birthday last month. Kid phones these days have parental controls, content filters, the works. I'm adding her to our plan when I notice Sarah's data usage. 47 gigabytes last month. 47. I use maybe 5. Emma uses 2, and that's mostly YouTube Kids. I tell myself it's nothing. Maybe she's streaming music at the gym. Maybe she's watching Netflix during lunch breaks. Maybe. But my hands are already moving, opening her laptop. She never logs out of iMessage. It syncs automatically. I told myself I just checked to put my mind at ease. That was my first mistake. The messages are right there. A contact saved as Gym Trainer. Cute. Real cute. There are 847 messages between them. I know because I counted. Later, at 2 in the morning, when I couldn't sleep, I counted every single one. I start scrolling. My coffee gets cold. The sun moves across the desk. I don't move. The first one is from 14 months ago. Thanks for the form tips today. Innocent enough. 3 days later, you looked good in those shorts. 1 week later, can't stop thinking about you. 2 weeks. When can I see you alone? 3 weeks. That thing you did with your tongue. I'm going to spare you the details, not because I'm a gentleman, because if I read them out loud, I'll need to punch something, and I'm recording this in a studio apartment with thin walls. But here's what you need to know. These aren't sex from a fling. These are love letters, inside jokes, pet names, plans for a future that doesn't include me. There are photos, hotel receipts sent as screenshots, a comment about her tattoo, the one on her hip that only I'm supposed to know about, and then I see it, the one that makes the room tilt. Dated December 18th, 2014, 9 months before Emma was born. He asked if I was ready for a baby. I said yes. I just didn't say with who. That emoji. That fucking emoji. While I was building a crib. If you've ever ignored your gut feeling because you didn't want to know the truth, leave a below. I sit there for I don't know how long. Could be 10 minutes, could be an hour. The laptop screen goes dark. I don't touch it. I just stare at my reflection in the black mirror. Then I do the math. Our anniversary is September 14th. Emma was born September 7th, 2015, 38 weeks, full term, which means conception was, I pull up a calendar from 2014, December, early December. I scroll back in the messages. December 1st, 2014, hotel room is booked. Can't wait to have you all to myself. December 4th, last night was, God, I can't even put it into words. December 6th, I'm sore in all the right places. I hold Emma's birth certificate in one hand and my wife's text in the other. The dates line up perfectly. But that's not proof. That's just suspicious timing. Women get pregnant with their husbands all the time during affairs. Right? Right? Except Emma has hazel eyes, light green with gold flecks. Both Sarah and I have brown eyes, dark brown. I'd Googled it once, back when Emma was 2, and my mom made some comment about it. Genetics can be weird, the internet said. Recessive genes, random mutations, blah blah. I dismissed it. Now I'm Googling again. 2 brown-eyed parents, hazel-eyed child probability. The results make my stomach drop. Unlikely, highly unlikely. Technically possible if we're both carriers of certain recessive genes, but the probability is less than 5%. 5%. I think about Emma's face, her nose, slightly upturned, nothing like mine or Sarah's. Her smile, wide, showing too much gum. Sarah hates her smile in photos. I've never seen that smile in either of our families. Her laugh, high-pitched, musical. Where did that come from? I'm spiraling. I know I'm spiraling. Confirmation bias, paranoia. Maybe I'm seeing things that aren't there because I want an explanation for the pain that's currently ripping through my chest like a serrated knife. But then I remember something else. Last year, Emma needed a blood test for kindergarten enrollment. Standard stuff. They tested her blood type AB positive. I'm O positive. I don't actually know Sarah's blood type. I assumed she was O or A because Emma's A or B has to come from somewhere, and I Google it. O positive parent, AB positive child. Impossible. The word stares back at me from 6 different medical websites. Genetically impossible. A parent with O blood type cannot have a child with AB blood type. It's basic biology, Mendel's laws, high school science. Unless I'm not the parent. My hands are shaking now. The laptop is back open. I'm scrolling faster, looking for anything, any proof that I'm wrong, that this is all a misunderstanding, that my daughter, my Emma, who calls me daddy, who makes me Father's Day cards with glitter glue, who holds my hand when we cross the street even though she's 8 and too cool for that, is mine. But the worst message isn't about sex. It was dated 9 months before our daughter was born, and suddenly I need to know. Not suspect. Not wonder. No. Sarah comes home an hour later. She's carrying groceries, humming. She doesn't know that I know, doesn't know that I've been sitting here, motionless, for 90 minutes. Hey babe, she says, can you help with... She sees my face. The bags hit the floor. An orange rolls across the tile. She knows. What's wrong? She's good. Her voice has just the right amount of concern, like she cares, like she didn't just destroy everything. I turn the laptop toward her. The messages are on the screen. She goes pale, then red, then pale again. I can explain. Don't. My voice sounds wrong, flat, like it's coming from underwater. Don't insult me with explanations. It's not what it looks like. I laugh. It's an ugly sound. It's not what it looks like. There are 847 messages, Sarah. I read every single one. You went through my phone? That's what you're worried about. Privacy? She sits down hard in the chair across from me. We're at the kitchen table. The same table where we eat breakfast as a family. Where Emma does her homework. Where I proposed actually 10 years ago this month with a ring I saved 6 months for. Who is he? I ask. It doesn't matter. It matters to me. His name is Marcus. He was a trainer at my gym. Was? I ended it 3 months ago. I swear, I ended it. 3 months ago, right around when she started being extra nice, extra attentive. Guilt can look a lot like love if you squint. How long? Does it? How long? She takes a breath. 14 months. 14 months, over a year. Not a fling, not a mistake, a whole secret life. Are you in love with him? She doesn't answer. That's answer enough. I pick up my phone, pull up Emma's birth certificate, slide it across the table. Is Emma mine? Her eyes go wide. What? Of course is Emma mine. Yes, God, yes, you can't possibly think. I don't know what to think anymore, Sarah. You tell me. You're the one with all the secrets. She's crying now, real tears too. I used to be able to tell when she was faking. Now I don't trust anything. Emma is yours, she says. Her voice is shaking. I know she is. You know, or you're pretty sure? She's yours. I swear on her life, she's yours. Then you won't mind if I'm sure. What does that mean? It means I want a paternity test. She stands up so fast the chair scrapes against the tile. You can't be serious. Dead serious. You'd do that? You'd question whether you're her father over this? You made me question it, Sarah, not me. You, with your, I just didn't say with who, and your emoji and your secret life for over a year. She looks like you. She doesn't look like either of us. So what? You're just going to, what? Swab her mouth and send it to a lab? Yes. She's pacing now, back and forth in front of the sink. And what if she finds out? What if she knows you doubted? She's 8. She won't know unless you tell her. Sarah stops, looks at me, really looks at me. And I see it in her eyes. The calculation, the fear, and something else. Guilt. Don't do this, she whispers. Give me a reason not to. Because you're her father. Test or no test, you're her father. Then you've got nothing to worry about. She looks at me in the eyes and says, Emma is yours. I know she is. But then she says something that makes my blood freeze. You'll never be able to prove otherwise. Not, you don't need to prove it. Not, I'll take the test to put your mind at ease. You'll never be able to prove otherwise. That's when I realize she's not sorry she did it. She's sorry she got caught. She leaves that night, packs a bag, says she's going to her mother's. For space, she says. To think. I don't stop her. 3 days later, I'm in a clinical testing facility in a strip mall between a Dollar Tree and a Subway. The receptionist has kind eyes. She doesn't ask questions when I request a paternity test. She just hands me forms. Legal name, date of birth, social security number, relationship to child, father. I hesitate on that last one. The pen hovers over the word. Father. Will I still be after the results come back? I think about the day Emma was born. September 7th, 2015, 4:27 in the morning. Sarah was in labor for 16 hours. I was there for every minute, every contraction, every curse word, every scream. When they put Emma in my arms, still covered in blood and vernix, I cried. 32 years old, and I cried like a baby myself because suddenly everything made sense. This was why I was here. This tiny, screaming, perfect human. This was my purpose. Would that moment become a lie? Blood doesn't lie, but it doesn't tell the whole truth either. I sign the form. Pay the $379. They give me a kit. It comes in a white box with blue lettering. Paternity test, legal grade. Inside, 2 cotton swabs, 2 plastic vials, a prepaid FedEx envelope, instructions in 6 languages. The instructions say I need a cheek swab from the child and from myself. Simple, painless, results in 5 to 7 business days. The kit arrives at my house, my apartment now. I moved out in 3 days. The envelope sits on my desk for 2 weeks. I can't open it. Every time I reach for it, I think about Emma. Her laugh, the way she holds my hand, the way she runs to me when I pick her up from school, backpack bouncing, shouting, "Daddy!" like I'm the best thing in her world. If the test says she's not mine, then what? Do I walk away? Do I stay? Can I even stay? And if I do stay, will I be able to look at her the same way? Or will I always see the lie? See him. Marcus, some guy who was raw-dogging my wife while I was reading Goodnight Moon to a daughter who might not even be mine. I keep thinking about the day she was born, how I cried when they put her in my arms. Would that moment become a lie? I open the kit on a Tuesday night. Emma's with Sarah. I'm alone in my apartment, which still smells like paint because I just moved in, and nothing's on the walls yet except one picture, Emma and me at her 7th birthday party. She's covered in frosting. I'm pretending to eat her nose. I read the instructions 3 times. Swab firmly inside of cheek for 30 seconds. Place swab in vial. Do not touch swab tip with fingers. Seal immediately. I do my sample first. It's easy, impersonal. Just cells on cotton. Emma's sample, though, that's different. She's coming over this weekend. Court-mandated temporary visitation while Sarah and I work things out. We're not working things out. We're hiring lawyers. But the mediator keeps using phrases like reconciliation and family preservation. Like this is something we can fix with couples therapy and date nights. I pick Emma up Saturday morning. She's wearing her purple jacket, the one with the unicorn patch she begged for last Christmas. She runs to my car, backpack bouncing, shouting, "Daddy," like always. God, I love her. That's the thing that's killing me. I love her. Test or no test, mine or not. I love this kid more than I've ever loved anything, but I need to know. We go to the park, we get ice cream, we go back to my apartment and watch Encanto for the 18th time. She sings every song, knows every word. When it's over, she asks if she can stay the night. "Not tonight, bug," I say, "but next weekend, yeah." "Promise?" "Promise." She goes to brush her teeth before I take her back to Sarah's. I follow her into the bathroom. My hands are in my pockets. One of them is touching the cotton swab I brought from the kit. Her toothbrush is purple with unicorn stickers she put on herself. One's peeling at the corner. I can smell the cinnamon toothpaste, her favorite since she was 4. She brushes, making faces in the mirror. When she spits, there's foam on her chin. I wipe it off with my thumb. "Why are you looking at me weird?" she asks. I'm not. "You are. You have your sad face." "I just love you, that's all." She hugs me around the waist. "I love you too, Daddy. You're the best daddy in the world." I keep thinking, the instruction said firmly, swab inside cheek. Every stroke felt like I was stealing something from her. She asks me why I'm crying. I tell her I just love her so much. I'm not lying. As I seal the envelope, Emma hugs me from behind and says, "You're the best daddy in the world." I mail it the next morning, Monday. The FedEx guy takes the envelope, scans it, tosses it in his truck. Just another package, just another Tuesday. He has no idea he's driving away with my entire life in a cardboard box. The email says 5 to 7 business days. I wait. I don't sleep. Haven't been sleeping well since I found the messages, but now it's worse. I lie awake doing math. If she's not mine, does that void the marriage? Can I get back the money I spent on her, on us? That sounds mercenary, I know, but I put $147,000 into a college fund. I took out a second mortgage for Sarah's business that failed. I worked overtime for vacations and Christmases and birthday parties. If it's all based on a lie, what do I get back? Nothing. The answer is nothing. You can't refund a life. My boss asks if I need time off. I almost laugh. Time off from what? Waiting to find out if my life was real? I refresh my email 463 times a day. I counted. Well, my phone counted. Screen time, 11 hours, mostly Gmail. On day 4, my wife moves out to her mother's. She takes Emma. She says it's for Emma's sake. I know what she's really doing. She's building distance, creating a narrative. He became obsessed. He changed. He wasn't the man I married. All of it's true, by the way. I did become obsessed. I did change. And I'm definitely not the man she married. That guy was naive enough to think his wife wouldn't cheat and his daughter was his. The email arrives on day 5, Wednesday, 2:47 p.m. Subject, laboratory results available. I stare at it for 3 minutes before I click. The PDF loads slowly, or maybe it loads normal speed, and time just feels slow when your world is ending. There's a logo at the top, DNA Diagnostic Center, very official, very clinical. There's a table with numbers, genetic markers, D3S1358, D21S11, a whole alphabet soup of science I don't understand. And then at the bottom, in bold, probability of biological paternity, 0.0%, 0.00%, not unlikely, not improbable, impossible. I read the line 17 times. Probability of biological paternity, 0.0%. Then I read the next section. Combined paternity index, 0. The numbers don't lie. 10 years of fatherhood erased by a decimal point. The report includes a note at the bottom. Subject may experience emotional distress. Counseling recommended. No shit. I look at the photo on my desk. Emma as a newborn, my face in that picture, pure joy. That man didn't know he was living a lie. I almost envy him. I call Sarah. She picks up on the first ring. We need to talk, I say. About what? My laugh is bitter. Take a guess. Silence. I got the results. I continue. Do you want to know what they say, or do you already know? More silence. Then, quietly, I told you not to do the test. That's not an answer. What do you want me to say? I want you to tell me the truth. For once. Is Emma mine? She's been yours for 8 years. A piece of paper doesn't change that. That's not what I asked. She's crying now. I can hear it. I don't know, okay? I don't know. It was around the same time. It could have been you. It could have been... Marcus. She sucks in a breath. How do you know his name? I'm not an idiot, Sarah. You saved him as gym trainer, but his number's in your phone records. His Instagram is public. It took me 5 minutes. Quick question while we're here. If you were me, would you do the test? Drop 1 for yes, 2 for live in doubt. I hang up, open my laptop, type Marcus Chen, Sacramento personal trainer into Facebook. Third result, Marcus Chen, age 34, personal trainer at Velocity Fitness. In a relationship with, doesn't say smart, he scrubbed that up, but his photos are public. And the third one down, posted 18 months ago, makes me drop my phone. It's Marcus with a little girl, maybe 6 years old. The caption, Daddy-Daughter Breakfast Date. The girl has hazel eyes, light green with gold flecks. Her nose is upturned slightly, nothing like mine or Sarah's. Her smile is wide, showing too much gum. She looks exactly like Emma. Not similar, not kind of like, exactly. Like someone took a photo of Emma 2 years ago and changed her clothes. I scroll through his photos. There she is again, and again. Birthday parties, beach trips, school plays. He has a whole other family, a whole other life. And his daughter, his other daughter, looks like Emma's twin. I find him on Facebook in under 5 minutes. He has a family photo as his profile picture. Happy, smiling, like he didn't blow up mine. I keep scrolling. There's a post from September 2015, the month Emma was born. Big news coming soon. The comments, congratulations, so happy for you. You're going to be an amazing dad. His daughter was born November 2015, 2 months after Emma. He was having a baby with his girlfriend while my wife was having his other baby with me in the room. His daughter has hazel eyes. Emma has his daughter's face. They're half sisters. I screenshot everything, every photo, every comment, every timestamp. I don't know what I'm going to do with this information, but I need it. Evidence, proof, something to make this real, because right now it feels like I'm losing my mind. I call Sarah back. She doesn't pick up. I text, I found him. I found his other daughter. Did you know? 3 dots appear, disappear, appear again. Finally. Please, don't do this. Did you? No. I suspected, but I never asked. Because you didn't want to know. Because it didn't matter. You were Emma's father. You are her father. Some test doesn't change that. The test doesn't change it. You did. You and your lies and your gym trainer and your fucking emoji. I throw my phone across the room. It hits the wall. The screen cracks. I don't care. I need a lawyer. Her name is Patricia Reeves. 50-ish. Gray hair pulled back tight. Glasses on a chain. She's the 3rd family law attorney I've called. The first 2 wouldn't touch it. Too messy, one said. Paternity fraud cases are complicated. Patricia sits across from me in her office. It smells like coffee and old paper. There are diplomas on the wall, Stanford, Yale Law. She's been doing this for 26 years. Walk me through it, she says, from the beginning. I tell her everything, the texts, the timeline, the DNA test, Marcus and his hazel-eyed daughter, all of it. She takes notes, doesn't interrupt. When I finish, she sits back in her chair. Okay, she says, here's the situation. Legally, you are Emma's father. You're on the birth certificate. You've been acting as her father for 8 years. California recognizes something called presumed fatherhood. As long as you've been acting in good faith, which you have parental rights. But I'm not her biological father. Doesn't matter. Biology is one factor. It's not the only factor. So I have rights. You do, but she pauses. Your wife also has rights. And if she chooses to challenge your custody, she can. She can argue that now that you know the truth, you're not fit to parent. That the relationship is based on false pretenses. That's insane. I've been her father for 8 years. I agree, but courts have ruled both ways on this. Some judges prioritize the child's established relationship. Others prioritize biology. It's a gamble. What about him? Marcus. Does he have rights? She flips through some papers. If he's the biological father and wants to establish paternity, yes. He can petition for custody or visitation, but he'd have to prove paternity first, which means Emma would have to be tested again, and you'd have to consent, or he'd have to get a court order. And if I don't consent? Depends on the judge. If he can show he has a legitimate claim, and based on what you've told me, he does, a judge might order it. My head is spinning. So, what do I do? Patricia leans forward. Do you want to fight for her? Here's what's crazy. Paternity fraud isn't even a crime in most states. If you've dealt with a broken system, comment justice. And I'll read some stories at the end. The question hangs in the air. Do I want to fight for her? For a child who isn't mine biologically? For a child who was conceived during an affair? For a child whose existence is tied to the worst betrayal of my life? I think about Emma's face, her laugh, the way she holds my hand when we cross the street even though she's 8 and too cool for that. The way she makes me Father's Day cards with glitter glue and writes "Best Daddy Ever" in crayon. Yes, I say, I want to fight for her. Patricia nods. Then here's what we do. She explains it to me like a battle strategy, because that's what it is, a war, and I need ammunition. You need to prove you've been her father in every way that matters. Patricia says, documents, records, proof that you've been present, involved, committed. I have all that. Good. Bring me everything. School enrollment forms, medical records, bank statements showing you've supported her financially, emails, texts, photos, anything that shows you've acted as her father. What about Sarah? Can she just take Emma and disappear? Not legally. You're still married. You're still on the birth certificate, but... She pauses. She could make things difficult, file for sole custody, claim you're unstable, especially if she finds out about the DNA test. She already knows. Patricia winces. Then we need to move fast. I'll draft a petition for joint custody. We'll argue psychological parent doctrine that you've acted as Emma's father for 8 years and severing that relationship would harm her. What if the biological father files? Then it gets messy, but we have one advantage. Emma, she's 8, old enough to testify in chambers, old enough to tell a judge who her father is. The thought of Emma on a witness stand makes me sick. I don't want to put her through that. I understand, but if it comes down to it, her voice matters a lot. I leave Patricia's office with a homework assignment: gather evidence. Every piece of proof that I'm Emma's father in every way except blood. Blood doesn't lie, but courts decide who gets to love. I spend the next 3 days documenting my life. It's strange going through 8 years of memories like they're exhibits in a trial. Everything I thought was sacred, birthday parties, vacations, bedtime stories, now has to be quantified, proven, submitted for approval. I find Emma's school enrollment forms, my name on every emergency contact line, my signature on every permission slip, 8 years of parent-teacher conferences, school plays, field trips. I was the room parent for 2nd grade. I chaperoned the zoo trip where Emma threw up from motion sickness, and I had to carry her while her class looked at elephants, medical records. I took her to every well child visit, every vaccination. When she broke her arm at 6, I was the one in the ER holding her while they set the bone. Her pediatrician knows me by name. Financial records. I opened a $529 college savings account when she was 3 months old. I've contributed every month since. Current balance, $147,312. For a child who isn't mine. Birthday cards I wrote, 18 of them, 2 per year, 1 for her birthday, 1 for Christmas. I always wrote long messages. Dear Emma, you're 5 today. I remember when you were born. I find a folder in my desk labeled Emma's Firsts. Every milestone, every memory, the evidence of my life, the ammunition for my case. Her teacher wrote, as Emma's father is the most present parent I've seen in 20 years. Past tense felt like a knife. I email everything to Patricia. 94 attachments. Subject line, evidence of fatherhood. She responds 2 hours later. This is good, really good. Keep it coming. What else do you want? I think. How do you prove love? How do you quantify showing up? I keep digging. There's a video on my phone from Emma's 5th birthday. She wanted a bike, pink with streamers. I found one on sale at Target for $127. I worked 3 overtime shifts to afford it. In the video, she's learning to ride. I'm running behind her, holding the seat. She's wobbling, laughing, screaming, "Don't let go!" I won't, I say. I've got you. Promise. Promise. Then she gets her balance, pedals faster, and I let go. Just for a second. She rides 10 feet on her own before she realizes and panics and crashes into my arms, laughing. I did it, Daddy, I did it. You did, bug. I'm so proud of you. I watched that video 12 times. Then I send it to Patricia. Not text messages, not DNA, just her handprints in clay from kindergarten. The petition arrives by courier on a Wednesday. I'm at work. Well, I'm at my desk pretending to work. I haven't been productive in weeks. My boss is concerned. HR sent an email about available resources. I deleted it. The courier hands me a manila envelope. Legal size. Heavy. Sign here. I sign. Inside, a petition for dissolution of marriage and determination of parental rights. Sarah's filing for divorce. That's not a surprise. We've been separated for 3 weeks, living in different places, talking through lawyers. This was inevitable, but the second part. Determination of parental rights. I flip to page 4. Petitioner requests sole legal and physical custody of the minor child, Emma Grace Martinez. Respondent has no biological tie to the minor child and should have no custody or visitation rights. I read it 3 times. Respondent has no biological tie to the minor child. She's using my pain as a weapon. I call Patricia. She's already seen it. Sarah's lawyer sent her a copy. Can she do this? I ask. She can petition for anything, doesn't mean she'll get it. But she's saying I have no rights. And we're going to argue that you do, that you're Emma's psychological parent, that you've acted in good faith, that severing your relationship would harm Emma. What if the judge agrees with her? Patricia pauses. Then we appeal. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We have a strong case. Do we? Yes. The Uniform Parentage Act recognizes presumed parents. You've been her father for 8 years. You didn't know about the affair. You acted in good faith. Those things matter. But what if... Stop. Don't spiral. We fight this, okay? Okay. I hang up, look at the petition again. There's an attachment, a second petition filed separately from Marcus Chen. Petition to establish paternity and parental rights. The biological father filed too. He wants joint custody of the daughter he'd ignored for 10 years. I have one advantage. Emma, she's 8 now, old enough to testify. But do I want to put her through that? The hearing is scheduled for 6 weeks out. 6 weeks to gather evidence, build a case, prepare to fight for my daughter in a courtroom. I spend those weeks documenting everything, every moment, every memory. Patricia says we need to show a pattern of fatherhood, continuous, dedicated, present. I submit photos, hundreds of them. Emma on my shoulders, Emma and me at the zoo, Emma asleep on my chest when she was a baby. Every birthday, every Christmas, every random Tuesday at the park, I submit character references. Emma's teacher, Mr. Martinez, is the most involved parent in my class. He volunteers for every field trip, every party. Emma adores him. Her pediatrician, I've treated Emma since birth. Her father has been present for every appointment. He knows her medical history better than most parents. My brother, he's been a dedicated father since the day she was born. This situation is destroying him. I submit financial records, 8 years of expenses, diapers, formula, clothes, toys, daycare, school tuition, summer camp, piano lessons she quit after 3 weeks, karate lessons she quit after 2, soccer, which she actually liked, birthday parties at bounce houses and pizza places, vacations to Disneyland and Legoland and the beach house we rented in San Diego, $173,000, not including the college fund, for a daughter who isn't mine. Patricia reviews everything. This is compelling, she says, really compelling, but there's one thing that would seal it. What? Emma's voice. I shake my head. I'm not putting her on a witness stand. Not a witness stand, chambers, just her and the judge and a child psychologist. It's private, gentle. She's 8. I know, but she's also old enough to express her feelings. And in cases like this, where we're arguing psychological parent doctrine, the child's attachment matters. What if she... I can't finish the sentence. What if she says she wants her biological father? Patricia's voice is kind. Then we know. But based on everything you've told me, that's not going to happen. You don't know that. No, but she does. And I think we should give her the chance to say it. The psychologist's name is Dr. Susan Chen. No relation to Marcus, she assures me. She specializes in child custody cases, interviews kids in a neutral environment, reports to the judge. Emma meets with her 3 times over 2 weeks. I don't know what they talk about. Sarah doesn't either. It's confidential. But on the 3rd visit, Dr. Chen comes out to the waiting room where I'm sitting. Can we talk? She asks. We sit in her office. It's painted soft yellow. There are toys on the shelves, books about feelings and families. I'm going to include my findings in a report to the judge, Dr. Chen says, but I wanted to share something with you first. She slides a piece of paper across her desk. It's a drawing, crayon on construction paper, a stick figure family, big stick figure labeled Daddy, medium stick figure labeled Emma. That's it, no one else. She drew this during our last session, Dr. Chen says. I asked her to draw her family. Just us? My voice cracks. Just you. When I asked about her mother, she said she's not family right now. She's in timeout. When I asked about the other man, she said, I don't know him. I stare at the drawing, Emma's handwriting. Me and Daddy. I've interviewed hundreds of children in custody cases, Dr. Chen continues, and I can tell you attachment is clear. Emma sees you as her father, not her mother's ex-husband, not a man she happened to live with, her father. The psychologist said Emma drew 47 pictures in therapy. Not one included her mother or the biological father. She also wrote something, Dr. Chen says, a letter to the judge. I helped her with spelling, but the words are hers. She hands me another piece of paper, lined like from a school notebook. Pencil, Emma's loopy handwriting. Dear Judge, it begins. I can't read it, not here, not in front of Dr. Chen. Can I? My voice is thick. Can I take this? That's your copy. The original goes in my report. I fold it carefully, put it in my jacket pocket. Right over my heart. I don't read the letter until I get home. I pour a whiskey first. Neat. Sit on my couch in my apartment that still doesn't feel like home. Then I unfold the paper. Dear Judge, my name is Emma. I'm 8.5. This is about my daddy. Dr. Chen said I should tell you how I feel. So here it is. Sometimes I hear my mom talk to Grandma. She says, real dad. But I already have a real dad. He's the one who checks for monsters under my bed. He's the one who makes my lunch with notes that say, you're awesome. He's the one who lets me sleep in his bed when I have bad dreams. The other man is just, I don't know, a stranger? My mom says I should give him a chance. But why? He wasn't there when I broke my arm. He wasn't there for my dance recital when I was a flower and forgot all my moves. He wasn't there for my birthday when I turned 8 and got my first phone. My daddy was there for everything. Dr. Chen asked if I want to live with my daddy. I said yes, always yes. She asked if I love my daddy. I said more than ice cream, I really love ice cream. If DNA makes you a dad, then why do I only miss one person? Love, Emma P.S. My daddy cries sometimes now. Can you make him stop? I read it 4 times. Then I put my head in my hands and sob. Emma's letter, the last line. If DNA makes you a dad, then why do I only miss one person? What happened next? Emma did something I didn't ask her to, something that changed everything. Hit the bell icon if you want to know what she said in court. The hearing is in Department 12 of Sacramento Superior Court, Family Law Division. We arrive at 8:30 a.m. The hallway smells like floor wax and stress. Sarah is already there with her lawyer. Marcus is there too. First time I've seen him in person. He's tall, muscular, movie star jaw. I hate him instantly. He tries to make eye contact. I look away. Patricia puts a hand on my shoulder. Deep breath. We've got this. The bailiff calls us in. Martinez family, Department 12. The courtroom is smaller than I expected. Wood paneling, California state seal on the wall. The judge's bench is elevated, imposing. Judge Catherine Brennan, age 50-something, reading glasses. She's been on the family law bench for 15 years, Patricia told me. Fair but tough. We take our seats, me and Patricia on one side, Sarah and her lawyer on the other. Marcus and his lawyer behind them. Judge Brennan enters. We stand, sit. Good morning, she says. We're here on the matter of Martinez Veach. Martinez, with an intervening petition from Mr. Chen. I've reviewed all the filings. This is complicated. That's one word for it. Ms. Reeves, the judge says to Patricia, your client is seeking joint custody of a child who is not his biological offspring. Explain your argument. Patricia stands. Your Honor, my client has been Emma's father for 8 years. He's on the birth certificate. He's been present for every milestone. He acted in good faith, believing Emma was his biological child. California law recognizes psychological parents. The child's best interest is in maintaining the only father-daughter relationship she's ever known. Judge Brennan nods, turns to Sarah's lawyer. Ms. Patterson? Sarah's lawyer stands. She's young, ambitious, expensive suit. Your Honor, while we acknowledge Mr. Martinez's past involvement, the fact remains. He has no biological tie to this child. My client believes that now that the truth is known, maintaining this relationship would be confusing and harmful to Emma. Harmful? I can't stop myself. Patricia touches my arm, a warning. Judge Brennan looks at me. Mr. Martinez, you'll have a chance to speak. For now, let the attorneys handle this. Apologies, Your Honor, Patricia says. The judge turns to Marcus's lawyer. Mr. Wolf, your client is petitioning for paternity rights after 8 years of absence. Why now? Marcus's lawyer stands. Your Honor, my client only recently learned he might be Emma's biological father. He wants to be involved. He wants to establish a relationship. He's willing to undergo DNA testing to confirm. Already done, Patricia interrupts. Mr. Martinez had testing done. The results show 0 probability of paternity. Then we request additional testing, Marcus's lawyer says, between my client and the child. Judge Brennan holds up a hand. We'll get to that. First, I want to hear from the child psychologist. Dr. Chen is sworn in. She takes the stand, testifies about her 3 sessions with Emma, about the drawings, about the attachment indicators. In my professional opinion, Dr. Chen says, Emma has a secure attachment to Mr. Martinez. She identifies him as her father. She expresses desire to maintain that relationship. Severing it would cause significant psychological harm. And the biological father? Judge Brennan asks. Emma expressed no desire to establish a relationship with Mr. Chen. She referred to him as the stranger on multiple occasions. Marcus shifts in his seat. Uncomfortable, Sarah's lawyer cross-examines. Dr. Chen, isn't it true that children can form attachments to anyone who acts as a caregiver? That doesn't necessarily mean that relationships should be legally protected. Children form attachments to primary caregivers. Dr. Chen corrects. Mr. Martinez is not anyone. He's been Emma's father since birth. But he's not her father, Sarah's lawyer presses, biologically. Biology is one factor. Attachment, consistency, and emotional security are others. In this case, the non-biological factors outweigh the biological ones. The judge calls a recess. 15 minutes. I go to the bathroom, splash water on my face, look at myself in the mirror. This is it. This is where a judge decides if I'm a father or not. Patricia finds me. You're doing great. Just stay calm. What if we lose? We won't. But what if... Then we appeal, but we won't. I've been doing this for 26 years. I know when a judge is leaning our way. Is she? Yes. We reconvene. Judge Brennan calls me to testify. I'm sworn in, hand on a Bible. I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. The irony isn't lost on me. We're here because someone didn't tell the truth. Patricia guides me through my testimony. Tell the judge about Emma's birth, about the first time I held her, about every milestone. When did you learn you might not be Emma's biological father? Patricia asks. 6 months ago. I found messages between my wife and another man. The timeline suggested Emma might not be mine. What did you do? I ordered a DNA test. The results came back negative. 0 probability of paternity. How did that make you feel? Objection from Sarah's lawyer. Irrelevant. Your Honor, Patricia argues, my client's emotional state goes to his good faith belief that he was Emma's father. I'll allow it, Judge Brennan says. I take a breath. It destroyed me. I spent 10 years believing I was her father, and then I wasn't, except I was. I am. DNA doesn't change that I was there for everything, that I love her, that she's my daughter in every way that actually matters. No biology degree, no parenting certificate, just 10 years of showing up. Sarah's lawyer cross-examines. She's trying to make me look unstable, obsessive. You went through your wife's phone without permission. I was paying the phone bill. I saw suspicious activity. You secretly DNA tested your daughter? I needed to know the truth. You confronted your wife? Of course I did. And when you learned Emma wasn't yours, you didn't walk away. Why? It's a trap question. Any answer makes me look bad. If I say, because I love her, she'll say I'm possessive. If I say, because she needs me, she'll say I'm delusional. I look at Judge Brennan. Because she's my daughter. Test or no test. She's mine and I'm hers, and that's not something you can unmake. Then it's Marcus's turn. His lawyer calls him to the stand. He's nervous. Good. Mr. Chen, when did you learn Emma might be your biological daughter? About 4 months ago, Sarah, Ms. Martinez, told me. And what was your reaction? I was shocked. I didn't know she was pregnant when our relationship ended. Do you want to be part of Emma's life? Yes, absolutely. I want to be her father. Patricia's turn to cross-examine. Mr. Chen, you said you want to be Emma's father, but you've had 8 years. Why didn't you try before? I didn't know. You didn't know, or you didn't want to know? He hesitates. That's all Patricia needs. Let me rephrase, she says. When you were involved with Ms. Martinez, did you know she was married? Yes. Did you know she became pregnant? I suspected. You suspected, but you didn't ask? It was complicated. It was convenient, wasn't it? You got to walk away. No responsibility. No child support. Until now, when it's suddenly convenient to claim fatherhood. Objection. Marcus's lawyer stands. Argumentative. Sustained, Judge Brennan says. But she's looking at Marcus differently now. Patricia presses. Mr. Chen, you have another daughter, don't you? Born November 2015. Yes. 2 months after Emma was born. Yes. So you were having a child with your partner while Emma was being born, and you didn't reach out, didn't check, didn't offer support. I thought. You thought she was someone else's problem? His lawyer objects again. Judge Brennan sustains. But the damage is done. One more question, Patricia says. Why now? Why after 8 years do you suddenly want to be a father? Marcus looks at his lawyer, at Sarah, then at me. Because I made a mistake, he says quietly, and I want to fix it. By taking a child away from the only father she's ever known? That's not fixing a mistake, Mr. Chen. That's making a new one. Patricia sits down. Judge Brennan calls Sarah to testify. She's crying before she even takes the stand. Her lawyer asks her about the affair, about the timeline, about why she's seeking sole custody. I want what's best for Emma, Sarah says, and right now Mr. Martinez is going through something. He's not stable. What makes you say that? He tested our daughter without asking me. He's obsessed with this DNA thing. He's angry. I don't think he can co-parent effectively. Patricia cross-examines. Ms. Martinez, you had an affair for over a year. Is that correct? Yes. And you got pregnant during that affair? I don't know when. You don't know, or you don't want to say. I don't know. But you suspected Emma might not be your husband's child? Sarah hesitates. It was possible. And you didn't tell him? No. For 8 years, you let him believe he was Emma's biological father. He is her father, but not biologically. Biology isn't everything. Patricia pauses, lets that hang in the air. I agree, Ms. Martinez. Biology isn't everything, which is why your petition to remove Mr. Martinez's parental rights is so contradictory. You're arguing that biology doesn't matter when it's convenient for you, but it does matter when you want to punish your husband. I'm not trying to punish Then why are you trying to take Emma away from him? Because, Sarah falters, because it's complicated. It's not complicated, Patricia says. You lied. You got caught. And now you're trying to use the law to cover up your mistakes. That's what's happening here. Objection. Sustained. But again, the point is made. Judge Brennan looks at my ex-wife and says, Madam, you cannot claim someone is unfit to parent simply because you lied about parentage. Then she turns to me. The biological father spoke for the first time. He said, I want to know my daughter. The judge asked, where were you for 3,000 days? Marcus doesn't have an answer. Judge Brennan closes her notebook. I'm going to take a recess to review Dr. Chen's full report, including the letter from the child. We'll reconvene in 1 hour for my ruling. That hour is the longest of my life. Patricia and I sit in the hallway. She's on her phone, reviewing notes. I'm staring at the floor, counting tiles, anything to keep from losing my mind. Sarah and Marcus are at the other end of the hall, not talking, just waiting. What do you think? I ask Patricia. I think we made a strong case. But family law is unpredictable. Judges have wide discretion. Some prioritize biology, others prioritize attachment. Brennan seems like the latter, but you can't guarantee anything. No. I check my phone. 37 minutes have passed. Feels like hours. A text comes through. From my brother. Praying for you, man. Another from Emma's teacher. Thinking of you today. Emma is where she belongs. With you. I don't respond. Can't find words. 45 minutes? 50. Finally, the bailiff opens the courtroom door. The judge is ready. We file back in. The courtroom feels colder now. Or maybe that's just me. Judge Brennan enters. We stand. She's carrying a thick folder. Dr. Chen's report. Emma's letter. Please be seated, she says. We sit. She opens the folder, puts on her reading glasses, looks at each of us in turn. Me, Sarah, Marcus. This is one of the more unusual cases I've presided over, she begins. And I've been doing this for 15 years. We have a child with 3 potential parents, the mother, the presumed father, and the biological father, each with their own claims, each with their own arguments. She pauses, looks down at the papers. I've reviewed all the evidence, the financial records, the character references, the medical records, Dr. Chen's psychological evaluation, and most importantly, I've read Emma's letter. My heart is pounding so hard I can feel it in my throat. I'm going to read part of it, Judge Brennan says, because I think it cuts to the heart of this matter. She picks up the piece of notebook paper, Emma's handwriting visible even from where I'm sitting. Her letter started, Dear Judge, my name is Emma. I'm 8.5. This is about my daddy. Judge Brennan's voice is steady, professional, but there's warmth there too. Sometimes I hear my mom talk to Grandma. She says, real dad, but I already have a real dad. He's the one who checks for monsters under my bed. He's the one who makes my lunch with notes that say you're awesome. He's the one who lets me sleep in his bed when I have bad dreams. I'm trying not to cry, failing. The other man is just, I don't know, a stranger. My mom says I should give him a chance. But why? He wasn't there when I broke my arm. He wasn't there for my dance recital when I was a flower and forgot all my moves. He wasn't there for my birthday when I turned 8 and got my first phone. My daddy was there for everything. Sarah is crying too. So is her lawyer. Even the court reporter looks emotional. Judge Brennan continues. Dr. Chen asked if I want to live with my daddy. I said yes. Always yes. She asked if I love my daddy. I said more than ice cream. She pauses. Parenthetically, Emma notes that she really loves ice cream. A few people in the gallery laugh softly. The tension breaks for a moment. Then Judge Brennan reads the last line. If DNA makes you a dad, then why do I only miss one person? Silence. The judge sets down the letter, takes off her glasses, looks at Marcus. Mr. Chen, I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to think carefully before you answer. Yes, Your Honor. Where were you for 3,000 days? Marcus blinks. I'm sorry? 3,000 days, approximately 8 years. Where were you when Emma was born? When she took her first steps? When she learned to read? When she broke her arm? Where were you? I didn't know. You suspected, by your own testimony, you suspected Ms. Martinez was pregnant when your relationship ended. You could have asked, you could have checked. You chose not to. Why? Marcus looks at his lawyer. No help there. I was scared, he admits. I didn't want the responsibility. But you want it now. Yes. Why? He doesn't have an answer, or if he does, it's not one he wants to say in court. Judge Brennan nods. I'll tell you why. Because now it's convenient. Because Ms. Martinez contacted you. Because suddenly you've decided you want to play father to a child you've ignored for 8 years. That's not fatherhood, Mr. Chen. That's narcissism. His lawyer starts to object. Judge Brennan holds up a hand. I'm not finished, Mr. Chen. You have a biological connection to Emma. That's a fact. But biology doesn't make you a father. Showing up does. Being present does. Loving a child even when it's hard, especially when it's hard, that's what makes you a father. She turns to Sarah. Ms. Martinez, you committed paternity fraud. Let's be clear about that. You had an affair, got pregnant, and let your husband believe for 8 years that Emma was his biological child. That's a profound betrayal. And now you're trying to use the legal system to punish him for finding out the truth. Your Honor, I'm not. You filed for sole custody on the grounds that Mr. Martinez has no biological tie to Emma. You argued that the relationship is based on false pretenses and should be severed. Those are your words, are they not? Sarah's lawyer whispers something to her. Sarah nods. Yes, Your Honor, but I was trying to protect... Protect whom? Emma or yourself? Sarah doesn't answer. My ex-wife's lawyer played the DNA card. Your Honor, biology matters. The judge cut her off. So does a decade of fatherhood. Judge Brennan turns to me. Mr. Martinez, you discovered a truth that destroyed your marriage. You could have walked away. Many men would have, but you didn't. You fought. Not out of spite or revenge, but because you love Emma. That's evident in every piece of evidence submitted. Every photo, every financial record, every character reference. You are her father in every way that matters. I can't speak, can barely breathe. California law recognizes the doctrine of psychological parenthood. Judge Brennan continues. When a person has acted as a parent in good faith, when a child has formed an attachment, when severing that relationship would cause harm, the law protects that relationship, even in the absence of biological ties. She opens another document, the custody petition. I'm going to rule as follows. First, Mr. Chen's petition to establish paternity is granted in the biological sense. DNA testing confirms he is Emma's biological father. However, she looks at Marcus. However, I am denying your request for custody or visitation at this time. Emma is 8 years old. She has expressed no desire to have a relationship with you. Forcing that relationship would not be in her best interest. Marcus slumps in his chair. If you wish to pursue a relationship with Emma in the future, you may petition the court again when she is older and able to make an informed decision. But for now, your parental rights are limited to the biological acknowledgement. She turns back to me and Sarah. As for custody, I am granting joint legal custody to Ms. Martinez and Mr. Martinez, with primary physical custody to Mr. Martinez. I almost fall out of my chair. Your Honor, Sarah's lawyer is on her feet. My client is the biological mother. Primary custody should... Your client is also the person who created this situation through her deception, Judge Brennan interrupts. Mr. Martinez has been Emma's primary caregiver emotionally and practically. The evidence is overwhelming. Emma herself has expressed a clear preference to live with him. Unless Ms. Martinez can show evidence that Mr. Martinez is unfit, which she has not, I see no reason to disrupt Emma's primary attachment. If that letter hit you, if you know what it's like to be chosen, just comment chosen. We see you. Judge Brennan continues. Ms. Martinez will have visitation every other weekend and alternating holidays. Both parents will make decisions together regarding education, healthcare, and religious upbringing. I'm also ordering family therapy for all parties, including Emma, to help navigate this transition. She looks at all of us. Let me be very clear about something. DNA determines biology. Love determines family. This court recognizes love. Mr. Martinez, you are Emma's father, not because of genetics, because you chose to be, because you showed up, because you loved her when it was easy and when it was impossibly hard. That is what this court protects. The gavel falls. When the gavel fell, Emma was in the room. She ran to me. She didn't look at anyone else. Wait, Emma wasn't in the courtroom for the ruling. Kids aren't usually present for family law hearings, but she was waiting outside with my brother, who'd come for moral support. The moment the bailiff opens the doors, Emma sees me. She's been sitting on a bench, coloring. The second she realizes we're done, she drops her crayons and runs. She doesn't wait for permission. She doesn't look at her mother. She doesn't look at Marcus, who's standing right there, technically her biological father. She runs to me. Daddy! I catch her, lift her up even though she's 8 and getting too big for this. She wraps her arms around my neck and buries her face in my shoulder. We won, Bug, I whisper. We won. I knew we would, she says. You're my dad. Sarah is crying, not sad tears, not happy tears, something in between. Grief, maybe, for the family we were, the lies that broke us. Marcus watches from across the hall. Then he turns and leaves. His lawyer follows. I don't know if I'll ever see him again, and part of me hopes not. Part of me knows Emma might want to meet him someday, and I'll have to handle that with grace I don't currently possess. But that's future me's problem. Right now, I'm holding my daughter, and she's holding me, and nothing else matters. 1 year later, Emma's in therapy, has been since the custody ruling. Dr. Chen, the psychologist, not Marcus, sees her every other week. They talk about the divorce, about the complicated family situation, about feelings and boundaries and all the things 8-year-olds shouldn't have to think about, but sometimes do. She's doing okay. Better than okay, actually. Kids are resilient, more resilient than adults. She sees Sarah every other weekend, some holidays. The relationship is strained. Sarah tried to explain the situation to Emma once. Honey, I made some mistakes. Emma cut her off. You lied to Daddy. That's not a mistake. That's a choice. 8 years old, and she's got more moral clarity than most adults. Sarah backed off after that. Now they do surface level stuff, movies, shopping, dinner at grandma's. They don't talk about the deep things. Maybe they will someday. Maybe they won't. Marcus hasn't tried to contact us. His petition to revisit visitation was denied 6 months ago. Judge Brennan noted that Emma was adamant and consistent in her desire not to have a relationship with him. The court wouldn't force it. Maybe when she's older, maybe never. That's Emma's choice. As for me and Emma, we're figuring it out. Our new normal. We moved into a bigger apartment, 2 bedrooms. Emma picked out paint colors for her room. Purple. Of course purple. Unicorns on the walls. She's still into unicorns. I bought her a new toothbrush for our place. Purple with unicorn stickers, just like the one I took DNA from. But this one is different. This one is just a toothbrush. Not evidence, not proof. Just something my daughter uses to brush her teeth. She helps me cook dinner most nights. Well, helps is generous. Mostly she tastes things and tells me they need more cheese. Everything needs more cheese, according to Emma. We do homework at the kitchen table. Same routine as before. Math problems, spelling words, reading logs. She's in 3rd grade now, reading at a 5th grade level. Smart kid. Gets that from, well, not from me. Genetics are weird. I don't think about the DNA anymore. Not really. Sometimes it crosses my mind. When someone comments that she doesn't look like me, or when I'm filling out medical history forms and realize half of it is blank because I don't know his family history, but mostly I just see Emma, my kid, my daughter. She asked me last week, are we a found family? We were watching Lilo and Stitch, the line about Ohana. Family means nobody gets left behind. What do you mean? I asked. Like in the movie, we're not family because of blood. We're family because we choose each other. I thought about that. Yeah, bug, I guess we are. Cool, she said. I like found families. They're the best kind. 1 year later, Emma's in therapy. She's okay. We're okay. She calls me Dad. Not because she has to, because she chooses to. She still makes me Father's Day cards. Last year's had a drawing of us, stick figures holding hands. The caption, My Dad and Me. Not my found family dad or my non-biological dad, just Dad. I framed it. It's on my desk at work, next to the photo of us at her 8th birthday party, where she's covered in frosting and I'm pretending to eat her nose. The college fund is still growing, $162,000 now. I still contribute every month, planning for a future, her future, whatever she wants to do, whoever she wants to be. I've started dating again, nothing serious, a few coffee dates, one dinner that went okay. It's weird putting myself out there. I'm 42 now, divorced, single dad. That's not exactly a dating profile that gets a lot of swipes. But I'm not in a hurry. Emma comes first. She always has. She always will. Sarah got engaged to some guy she met at work, not Marcus, someone new. Emma met him once, said he was fine. The highest compliment an 8-year-old can give to her mom's boyfriend. I'm happy for Sarah, or trying to be. Mostly I just feel distant, like she's someone I used to know. The woman I married 10 years ago, the one I thought I'd spend my life with, she doesn't exist. Maybe she never did. Last month, Emma had career day at school. They were supposed to bring someone from their family to talk about their job. She asked me to come. I took the day off work, wore a tie, brought business cards like I was somebody important. Project manager for a tech company, not glamorous, but it's honest work. There were 12 parents presenting, doctors, lawyers, a firefighter, a marine biologist, and me, middle management. When it was my turn, Emma introduced me. This is my dad. He manages projects and teams, but his real job is being my dad. The kids laughed. The teacher smiled. I talked for 10 minutes about project management, showed them a Gantt chart, explained deadlines and deliverables. Their eyes glazed over. I remembered why I don't give presentations, but at the end, one kid raised his hand. What's the hardest project you ever managed? I looked at Emma. She was sitting in the front row, smiling. This one, I said, being a dad, no manual, no deadline extensions, and the stakes are... I gestured to Emma. Everything. After we got ice cream, mint chocolate chip for her, coffee for me. We sat in my car in the parking lot, eating and talking about nothing important. Her friend drama, the book she's reading, whether we should get a dog. We should not. I'm barely keeping up with one dependent. Dad? She said. Yeah, bug? Do you ever think about him? She never asked before. Sometimes, I said honestly. Not a lot. Why? I don't know. I just wonder sometimes, like what if, you know? What if he'd been your dad instead of me? She wrinkled her nose. You? No. I mean, what if you'd left when you found out? My throat tightened. I wouldn't have. How do you know? Because you're mine, Emma. Test or no test. Biology or not. You're mine and I'm yours. That's not something that can be unmade. She nodded. Took another bite of ice cream. Good. Because I'd have been really mad. Yeah? Yeah. You're the best dad. Like top tier. I laughed. Top tier? S tier. That's gamer talk. It means the best. When did you become a gamer? I'm a third grader. We know things. We don't need blood tests to know who we are anymore. 2 nights ago, I was tucking Emma into bed. Same routine as always. Pajamas, brushed teeth, story, lights out. But this time she stopped me before I left. Dad, can I tell you something? Always. I heard you and Uncle Mike talking last week about the court stuff, about how Mom lied. Damn. I thought she was asleep. Bug, you don't need to worry about... I'm not worried. I just wanted to say I'm sorry. For what? That it happened, that Mom lied, that you had to fight for me, that you had to prove you're my dad when you're obviously my dad. I sat back down on her bed. Emma, listen to me. You have nothing to be sorry for. None of this is your fault. Not one bit. You understand? I know. But still, it must have sucked. It did suck, I admitted. Past tense. It doesn't anymore. Know why? Why? Because I have you, and that's all that matters. She hugged me tight. I love you, Dad. I love you too, Bug, more than anything. More than ice cream? Way more than ice cream. Wow, that's a lot. I kissed her forehead, turned off the light, left her door cracked open 6 inches. She still likes a little light from the hallway. As I walked away, I heard her whisper, "Night, Dad." Not good night, not love you, just Dad. That word, 4 letters. 3 years ago, it was a biological fact. Now it's something I earned. Something Emma gives me every day. That's the thing about found families. They're not accidents of genetics. They're choices. Daily choices to show up, to stay, to love even when it's hard. Blood doesn't lie, but it doesn't define us either. Love does. If you have a found family story, biological or not, share it in the comments. I'll start. Mine is a 3rd grader with purple everything, who eats too much ice cream, who still holds my hand when we cross the street, who calls me Dad because she chooses to, not because anyone made her, who taught me that family isn't about where you come from, it's about who shows up, who stays, who loves you at your worst and celebrates you at your best. I found my family in a hospital room 8 years ago when they put a screaming baby in my arms and I cried because suddenly everything made sense. The DNA test tried to take that from me, but Emma, fierce, stubborn, 8-year-old Emma, she wouldn't let it. She chose me. Every day she chooses me and I choose her, always will. That's family. Your turn.